Renault wheels out its choicest engineering in this car, the Rafale E-Tech 300 Atelia Alpine. It's got four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering, plug-in hybrid tech, and a healthy dose of Alpine motorsport tuning. The resulting unusual, complicated confection probably won't have been on your wish list if you're after a £50,000 fast saloon or hatch. Should it be? Renault's halo cars all used to be motorsport-tuned Renault Sport models, but all that expertise seems in recent years to have migrated to the company's Alpine brand. So, what are we to make of a performance model badged as both an Alpine and a Renault? This car, Renault's Rafale E-Tech 300 Atelia Alpine. The Rafale, should you be unaware of it, is the closest Renault these days gets to a big executive class model, in the UK anyway. The 300 horsepower PHEV drivetrain in play here is the ultimate power source you can get in this car, and if you're considering it, spending a bit more on this flagship Atelier trim level gets you the full Alpine tuning treatment, all of which must work with no fewer than 4 power sources: a turbocharged combustion engine, front and rear electric motors, and an integrated starter generator. Sounds intriguing. If you want your Rafale in the hyper-hybrid 4x4 300 horsepower flagship plug-in hybrid form that is being served up here, you get quite a technical CV. This PHEV model uses basically the same drivetrain as the ordinary hybrid Rafale, but adds a turbocharger to the little 1.2 litre engine and pairs the front motor with an extra 132 horsepower electric motor at the rear, so creating the advertised 4x4 system. With all these components added together, there's 300 horsepower. And the drivetrain works with a vastly bigger 22 kilowatt hour battery pack that you can plug and charge. Enough, when fully replenished, for the car to run on pure battery power for commuting distances of up to 62 miles. When you're feeling frugal, you can exercise 3 EV mode settings: hybrid, electric, and e-save. And when you're not, with the engine chiming in 62 miles an hour from rest in this hyper-hybrid takes 6.4 seconds. There's an extra multi-sense driving mode too, snow. Here we're trying the Rafale hyper-hybrid 4x4 300 horsepower model in its top Atelier form, in which guise it gains specific Alpine tuning for the anti-roll bars, the shock absorbers and the springs, and chassis control, which allows you to adjust the parameters of the car's 4Control 4-wheel steering system via 3 settings: comfort, dynamic and sport. This Atelier model is the only Rafale that comes fitted with adaptive damping. Renault calls it active suspension. 10 engineers apparently spent 3 years developing it, and sure enough, there's real polish to the way this car handles uneven surfaces. This top Atelia Alpine Rafale is identifiable by its larger 21-inch wheels. Otherwise, the look is only subtly different to other variants in the range. This Rafale presents as one of those mid-sized coupe SUV models and was the first car assigned to Renault's ex-styling chief Gilles Vidal. It was supposed to be a clean sheet design, but are we alone in noticing a few similarities with Peugeot's 408? Prior to his stint at Renault, Peugeot was Vidal's previous employer. There's plenty of Renault's latest design language here though, and some rather lovely detailed touches. Forget the really large Renault models you might have grown up with. This is a modestly proportioned segment contender based on a lengthier version of the brand's usual CMF-CD platform. The Rafale is 4,710 millimeters long, 1,860 millimeters wide and 1,610 millimeters tall, though the curved roofline makes it look a little more compact than that, and 17 degrees of windscreen rake adds a sporty touch. The first thing you'll probably notice though is this unique front grille. fabricated from angled tiles shaped like the Renault badge, which usually seem to move as you view them from differing angles. Almost equally eye-catching is the headlamp signature with its boomerang-shaped daytime running lights. The rear's neat too, with super slim LED tail lamps and italicized Rafale script beneath the central brand diamond. Time to take a look inside. Where Renault still hasn't quite succeeded in creating a really premium feeling cabin, but it's a step up from the Austral model interior it's based on, thanks to some extra soft touch surfaces and the use of some quite surprising materials like slate and blackened cork. The enveloping seats are bespoke and quite unique with illuminated elements, and of course there's plenty of screen tech with a 12.3-inch instrument display and a 12-inch central screen which runs Google designed software. A cabin highlight on plusher models like this one is the solar bay panoramic glass roof, which really is huge, 1,470 millimeters by 1,117 millimeters. This actually increases cabin headroom by 29 millimeters here in the front and uses AmpliSky polymer dispersed liquid crystal tech to darken the glass through 4 settings. These can be voice controlled and the glass darkens automatically when you step out of the car. The center console has this sliding top, allowing you to prioritize either cup holders or a lower cubby. The glove box is compromised slightly in size by the fuse box, but you get this useful lidded box between the seats and large illuminated door bins, plus an overhead sunglasses compartment with a neat curved mirror so you can check what the kids are doing in the back. The swept back roof line suggests it might be a little cramped in the rear of this car. Let's take a look. Actually, headroom's not too bad, helped by this solar bay glass roof if it's been fitted to your chosen variant, which improves headroom here in the back by 10 millimeters. As a result, there's up to 890 millimeters of headspace, so even 6-foot adults should have space to spare. Thanks to this model's quite lengthy 2.74 meter wheelbase, there's plenty of legroom too, and there's 302 millimeters of rear seat knee radius. What is disappointing though is that this Rafale lacks the sliding bench base that you'd perhaps expect because it's fitted to the brand's smaller Capture and Symbioz models. But if you avoid base trim, your back seat occupants will get the ingenious rear armrest with storage for tablets, USB outlets and fold-out screen stands. There's seat back pockets, twin USB ports, a nice flat center tunnel and also overhead reading lights. We'll finish with a look at the luggage area, which will be accessed via this powered tailgate provided you avoid base trim. With this PHEV model, boot space is rated at 539 litres and there's no underfloor room, which is a problem because the charging leads take up plenty of boot space. With this PHEV variant, the seats fold to reveal up to 1,826 litres. This top Atelia version of the Rafale Hyper Hybrid E-Tech 4x4 cost just over £46,000 at the time of our test in summer 2025. That's £3,000 more than the standard Techno Esprit Alpine version of this model. This top Atelier Alpine Hyper Hybrid model comes with large 21-inch chicane black diamond cut wheels, active suspension, and you can have a black version of the car's floating spoiler and specific Alpine tuning for the full control system, the anti-roll bars, the shock absorbers and the springs. Plus you get all the features of plush iconic Esprit Alpine trim, including a huge solar bay panoramic sunroof, a 12-speaker premium Harman Kardon audio system, hands-free parking and a 360-degree around view 3D camera. What about Rafale safety kit provision? Well, there are, of course, all the usual things: an active emergency braking system that recognises pedestrians and cyclists and works at junctions, and a full suite of lane features, including lane departure warning, lane keeping assist, lane change warning, and emergency lane keep assist. There's also blind spot recognition, traffic sign recognition with speed warning, rear cross traffic alert, driver attention alert, and a multi-collision braking system so that if you hit something, the car's less likely to go on and hit something else. Plus, of course, you get all the usual airbags linked to an e-call system. If you are looking at this hyper hybrid 4x4 300 horsepower PHEV model, then up to 65 miles of EV range is possible after charging the 22 kilowatt hour battery, which from a typical 7.4 kilowatt garage wall box takes 2 hours 55 minutes for a full charge. CO2 returns are rated at up to 12 grams per kilometre when the full battery range is used, but it's 132 grams per kilometre with an empty battery. Fuel returns for the Techno Esprit Alpine version of this hyper-hybrid model are rated at up to 564.9 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle with the battery fully charged, and the car manages up to 48.7 miles to the gallon when just running on its petrol engine. With the bigger 21-inch wheels of this top Atelia version, which drop EV range to 59 miles and the CO2 reading to 15 grams per kilometre, the combined fuel figures are 403.5 miles to the gallon and 44.8 miles to the gallon. Total driving range from a fully charged Rafale PHEV is up to 621 miles, and its benefit-in-kind tax is rated at just 8% compared to 27% for the ordinary full hybrid version. Since most Rafale models cost over £40,000, you'll be saddled with the government's expensive car supplement of £410, which will increase your annual road tax bill to £600. It's hard to pigeonhole the Rafale E-Tech 300 Atelia Alpine. It's a more serious driver's car than just about anything else Renault makes, but it's not really focused enough to be a fully fledged Alpine model. It's equally hard to imagine what might directly compete against it. Yes, near £50,000 spend will get you this kind of performance from lots of different similarly sized models, but none of them are engineered quite like this one. Managing to make four-wheel steering and four-wheel drive work so well together is impressive. Managing to get 300 horsepower from a little 1.2 litre engine, equally so. And the 22 kilowatt hour battery is substantial enough for suburban users to operate this top Rafale like an EV. None of which will stop this Renault from being a vanishing rarity in our market. Still, it's a far more interesting and exclusive proposition than any comparable premium brand model, which sounds an attractive proposition to us.